Welcome into the Wacky Dynasty Podcast. I'm your host, Luis Lopez, joined today with my co-host,
Zach Shones, and let's get right into the news.
So we're gonna start off here with a little Week 6 recap. All right, first game, disgusting acts look disgusting as usual, and Tim, a very very solid game.
Hey, there's one thing that I can't give you shit about this week. It's Mark Andrews for Garrett Wilson.
Woohoo! It worked
Chris Olave, though, what a pussy.
for real, dude. And they scored 27 points too, dude. He would have been so good. Trey Tucker, he kind of stinks. On Chris's
And
side, or I'm sorry, Tim's side. I'm sorry, Tim and Chris. My apologies. Shouldn't have said
just
that.
a good week from Tim. A great week, even.
It all started clicking. Josh Allen didn't score 10 points. Henry,
Terry finally has a QB.
2 touchdowns from Terry. Crazy. Lockett caught one. Swift looks good suddenly. Good week for Tim. Should we move on to our next one?
Let's do it.
So next we got the Suicide Squad, brand new name, versus Dude Perfect. I'll let you take lead on this one.
I'm 1-5.
Same.
But, I scored the second most points in the league. My team is back. I had to start Daniel Jones, even though Mahomes probably isn't much better. But good week for me, and I mean, I can't beat that.
No, you cannot. Mixon looked good when he actually plays. He's a very good running back.
Yeah.
Godwin is
wide receiver 1 right now.
Dude, I traded him to you.
You also traded me Mixon.
Yeah, that's crazy. You're welcome.
Thanks, dude. Laporta continues. He had a 52-yard touchdown, but that was his only target. So
yeah,
in a game rough.
Absolutely dominated too, but it was mostly on the ground.
Now I bet he goes off, and it'll be against the Vikings, and that'll be his only good game until the next time they play us.
Well, I'll be watching very closely, and Ian will be watching the morning game tomorrow very closely as Evan Ingram is playing for him, and he's finally healthy, and he's good. Very good.
Ken Walker, questionable with an illness right now, so Ian, try not to forget to set your lineup again.
Jalen Hurts, typical game. Breece Hall, that offense looked actually pretty decent again. Deontay Johnson with a competent quarterback is a very good wide receiver in fantasy football. Allen Lazard is worthless now.
Ingram came back strong.
You're just hyping him up too much, dude. Kamara stunk it up Thursday night, but he did good last Sunday. All right, we're taking way too long in these fucking games. Let's continue here. This slide hurts. Can I start? Can I start with this?
Yeah, I think you should.
Right off the gate, I'd like to apologize to Garrett. I gave your draft grade an F-, and Caleb Williams looks good, but it was against the Jaguars. But he still looked good.
I like the apology picture you chose. I think that conveys how much you really mean it.
I do. From the bottom of my cock, I really mean it. I'm sorry.
Great week from Cade.
Yeah. I mean, CD looked good despite the team looking bad. Amon-Ra a little bit slow this year, but he got a touchdown in that same game. Kittle is really good.
Kittle's a stud. Garrett Wilson's value might have just plummeted.
Come on, it's not going to be that bad.
It won't be that bad, but it will be lower.
It will definitely cap his ceiling, probably. I mean, they're going to be throwing they're going to be talking like fucking buddies on the sideline.
You know what?
Dude,
It could raise it. It could honestly raise it too.
I mean, yeah, maybe people won't be able to or teams won't be able to like zoom in just on Garrett Wilson. They'll have to spread it out a little bit.
But Cade's elite tight ends are kind of falling off. Kittle's the only one producing.
He's still got Hawkinson too when he comes back.
True.
And then Cade's running back is also very good. Lamar, pretty good game. On Garrett's side, Trey Sermon sucks. Chuba did good. Slayton, he did the Slayton Wandale combo. It produced. It's not like awful.
I like it. Just some mediocre games.
Yeah, nothing.
Jalen Polk had a rough one.
Yeah,
Tough to beat 147.
I am excited about Drake May, and I have his favorite target, Demario Douglas, too. So that could be an elite stack down the line. Pickup of the year? Question mark. Thank you, Cade. I forgot to play the sound earlier. I don't remember what it is. I assume 10 seconds of it is enough. All right, moving on to our next game.
I hope it was good.
It probably was. We got On Stroud 9 versus Zay It Ain't So. Zay It Ain't So with a huge W this week. A huge W. He goes to 2-4, and Paul goes down to 3-3.
Yeah, tough week for Paul. Jordan Mason got hurt. Tough Mike Evans game. ETN. Just a stinker season so far. And
Jaden Reed, not very good. But like
Aaron's final week of Justin Fields.
Yeah.
That is a very good fantasy quarterback off the board for now. I mean, he's still gonna play, but Russ is starting.
Yeah. Najee and Fields both looking very good for the Steelers, and now they both might not be playing next week.
Brandon Ayuk back to being shitty.
Stinky. But look up. There's some hope for Aaron, because look, you see that fucking Bucky there? That picture of Bucky?
Yeah.
It's like Bucky Irving. And he did good. Zay Flowers is really good too.
What is that? Is that Bucky? Who's Bucky?
Dude, look him up on your phone. It's spelled like Bussy though. It's Buccee. He's like the mascot of like a grocery store or something.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to our next matchup. We got Chris versus Zack. This is a 4-1 team versus a 3-2 team, and just a heavyweight battle. Chris snuck out a win here. Brock Bowers looks really good at tight end. Alex Madison, sneaky good fantasy season. Regret dropping him.
Drake London's been killing it.
Yeah, London on the track. Pickens is kind of stinky, but maybe Russ will be better.
Marv getting concussed was a killer.
Yeah, that hurt Zach right away. But Tyrone Tracy looked good.
Really
AJ
good.
Spears also got hurt right away. Or maybe not right away, but during the game.
Tony Pollard is so good. It doesn't really matter.
And it didn't really matter. I mean, he's still starting the backup. That isn't great.
But you know what? He scored 94. I've scored a lot less than that this year. So
me too.
He keeps doing it.
And it's still producing. I mean, a little bit of an off week, like you said. That Marv. Imagine if Marv plays and gets like 15-ish, 20-ish points. Like he probably comes out with a win. So, things here and there swing your way. That's a tough one. but something you got to deal with in fantasy football. And as you can see on the bottom right there, that's Zach praying that Devin Singletary stays out because Tyron Tracy looks really good. Although Dable did come out and say that it was probably going to be a split backfield from now on. Hurts the value of both.
There are worse things it can be. Maybe he starts them both.
Yeah, even better. I mean, Tajay Spears is hurt, so he's going to need someone to put there. All right, we're moving on here to the Week 6 waiver wire. Let's play this sound real quick.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
These guys do stink.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing to talk about here other than we can talk about the trade later on.
I was gonna say some notable ones are Andre Yoshavash and Aaron Rodgers. Those are some notable characters on here.
The only other one I would bring up is Andy Dalton to Aaron, who is starting this week.
Yeah,
with Dak on bye.
And Fields no longer the starter.
Daniel Jones is now available, Aaron, just so you know.
Oh, another notable one. Zach dropped Carson Steele. That stunk. I felt bad. But what are you going to do? He got Dearness Johnson later. So, more notable ones. Bud Means to Cade. He dropped Spencer Rattler. That sucked because I was trying to pick him up for like 15 minutes, closing and opening the sleeper app because I had an empty bench spot, but it kept saying I had an ineligible player in IR, even though they were all eligible. It wouldn't let me pick him up, so I had to settle for Noah Brown, which is whatever. Bud Means kind of stunk yesterday anyways, or Thursday.
Sleepers pretty slow with that.
Yeah, sleep. That is one thing they could improve. And especially in this league, maybe, that option to like sub out a player if they become injured, if they just fix it. All right, moving on here to a little guillotine update. And Zach, moment of silence for our phone. Today we say RIP to Team Chris Edmond, Exotic Smash Mouth, and Team ZJ Levi. Gone but never forgotten.
Your players will carry on.
Very slow transition. Now we're going to move on to the power rankings. And in the corner here, I just wanted to point out what a power rankings might look like. They usually list like the best teams on top, and then it like goes down to lower teams. So I just wanted to point that out. That's what that picture is, in case you're curious. So some notable stuff. You're still a contender at 1-5.
Makes sense.
And Chris moves into the contender. Was he a contender last week? He might have been. I don't think so, though. But maybe.
Who knows, dude?
These don't really change week over week, and it doesn't really matter anyways. Anything you want to add?
No.
All right, let's get a move on here to some trades. That's what you think you did with this trade, Zach. Deja Vu, Suicide Squad, and TEU make a Rodgers trade, part 2. Zach, go ahead and give us your feedback.
Oh, I spent $1 a fab on Rodgers.
You did. Cade spent $0 for Andre.
I could have just put $1 on Yoshivas, and then I would have gotten Yoshivas, and Cade would have had Rodgers.
Yep.
So, it's barely a trade. I'm trading him Rodgers for the second time though. That's pretty cool.
That's always funny. You basically gave him $1 a fab.
My team name at the time was also fuck Aaron Rodgers, so I figured I should probably get him off the squad.
Yeah, you eventually changed that to something a little more appropriate. This is a family dynasty league.
Yeah.
Family friendly. And Rodgers is the first player ever to become GM, head coach, offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, and QB1 for his team. So congratulations to Aaron Rodgers. And then could you believe it? Can you believe it, Zach? Cade and Tim made a trade together.
What?
I know.
That might be the first one of the dynasty for them.
Maybe first of many, though. I could see them having some good talks later on in the future. But Cade sends over Rachaad White to Tim for Tyler Algier in a 1-for-1 player swap. And Tim has a little quote down here. I don't want any of these shitty Falcon running backs.
This is a tough one. I mean, a backup for a guy who might be in a 3-person committee. So, well, I mean, we'll see. They're both pretty meh right now.
It's funny. I almost think they're more valuable to the I think Tyler Algier is more valuable to Tim than it is to Cade, and I think Rachaad White is more valuable to Cade than it is to Tim.
Well, Cade now has the handcuff for Bijan.
Right.
So that's pretty big.
I mean, for that aspect, but on the flip side, you could say, Bijan never goes down. Algier is RB1, and Tim would have had him.
True. But Bijan's not going to go down. He only gets the ball 9 times a game. It's hard to get hurt when you're doing that.
That's true. No more Doug Peterson there either. But Algier's still pretty good. We'll see about Rachaad. He's been hurt these last couple of weeks, and his backups have looked pretty good. Anything else you want to
add? Nothing. That's a great exclusive quote
from Tim. Yeah, I reached out to him. I reached out to his agent actually, and that's what he told me.
Okay.
Moving on to our head-to-head matchup of the week. This is the DraftKings Classic main slate. And remember to use bonus code WACKY on DraftKings for $0 match on DraftKings. The punishment for me, because I took home a big L thanks to Calvin Ridley's 0.9 points and his bum ass. But thank you to everyone last week who left a comment for punishment. And special shout out to @Luis Lopez -IR8YB for getting the most liked punishment.
Must be a super fan or something.
He must be. I mean, there are 2 super fans in this picture. I guess I didn't crop it out all that well. Sorry about that. So yeah, I'll link. I'm gonna post it to this channel. My punishment that I did. It's pretty stinky. And I'll link it in the description below. And let me play this sound.
Loser! You're a loser! Are you feeling sorry for yourself? Well, you should be, because you are dirt! You make me sick, you big baby!
Thank you, Hank, for those inspiring words. And then this is this week's. You want to talk about our players? Our players?
We ended up picking very similar lineups.
Very similar.
I went heavy at quarterback. He went heavy at receiver. Other than that, they are very close to being exactly the same.
Go ahead and list off your team really quick for the lads.
Josh Allen, Tony Pollard, and Austin Eckler. We both have both of them. Jordan Addison, Darnell Mooney. We both have both of them. Josh Downs, Wan'Dale Robinson, Kyle Pitts at tight end, and the Dolphins defense.
I'll just list off the players that are different. Gino at quarterback, DK at wide receiver, Ertz at tight end, Neighbors for my flex, and the Browns defense. And we both got a pretty good total of 50K and 49.9. So, yeah.
Best of luck to you, dude. Hopefully the punishment isn't as brutal as last week.
Dude, I think you're gonna like my video. I'm not gonna lie. I think you're really gonna like it. And again, like last week, highest liked comment in the description below, or in the comments below, will be the punishment for this week's loser. Moving on to our week 5 predictions. Those are our 2 stud running backs that we picked. So, dude, last week we kind of killed it. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. You
5-0, 4-1.
You picked me to lose.
That was right. I did, and I was correct in that. But now we both have we're like over 50% correct, so that's pretty cool. Let's go through these.
That is pretty cool.
This first game, I think, pretty obvious is going to be an Aaron win.
Yeah.
Congrats, Aaron, on the bye week.
Me versus Garrett might be a good one.
I mean, Garrett's
team, I really need a win here. I'm 1-5. Please, Garrett.
Garrett's team prone to blow.
Garrett, I'm begging you, please. Let me get to 2-5.
Then there's still a chance. Ian versus Cade in game of the freaking week, maybe even the year. We have opposite opinions. I picked Ian. You picked Cade.
Yeah, a rough start for Kamara on Thursday night for Ian.
Very rough start. I should have changed my prediction before we did this. Shoot. I did this like 2 days ago. I did it before the football game because I thought we were going to record. Can we spill the drama a little bit?
Go ahead, dude. Go ahead and vent. Vent to the audience.
Ian, we're calling you out, dude. Ian volunteered to be on the podcast this week, especially after coming off a huge W against you. Like a huge one, because you two are the highest scorers of the week. He wanted to be on the podcast, and then dude proceeds to be busy Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night. So we didn't have time to record before the Sunday game, so we're doing it now without Ian. So sorry, Ian. We'll get you on it again next time. Check your calendar before saying anything. Just kidding, dude. I'm sorry. That's a little mean, but I did think it was a little funny. So moving on. We both have Paul beating Chris. That's kind of bold. Chris's team is really good.
Chris's team is really good.
I was trying to go sneaky with my Paul pick.
Sorry, dude. I got him too. Paul's team's pretty good too. I mean,
Paul's team is good.
That's a close second for game of the week.
It really probably comes down to
probably means more to Paul and Chris than it does to Luis or to Cade and Ian. They're both top of the league.
You're right there. You're definitely right. I mean, 3-3 and 4-2. I mean, that's nothing to scoff at. That's still really good, but still a big game. And then Zach versus Tim. I'm sticking with Zach. I think he's gonna keep riding his luck. I think he's gonna start the right Giants running back, and he picked up Dearness Johnson, and he's gonna go sicko mode against the Patriots tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it. I think Tim's team, it's got the potential for big numbers. He just hasn't really been hitting them at opportune times.
Yeah,
he's got a good squad.
He does.
It'll be a close one.
Is there anything else you'd like to say before we close out this podcast this evening?
No, I'm good.
I'd just like to apologize to Ian once again. Ian, I'm sorry if that sounded mean or anything. I'm really not trying to be that mean. It really wasn't that big of a deal or nothing. I'm sorry to call you out. I shouldn't have aired out our dirty laundry.
Don't backpedal. Say fuck you, Ian, and let's move on.
All right, yeah. What are we thinking for this week's sign off?
I don't know. This one's up to you.
Okay. I'm thinking I wanted to do it last week. I'm thinking some Old Penguin 0. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Well, that's the end of this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and see you in the next video. See ya.